Hey there, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com, and today I want to share some tips and strategies to help improve your flat pedal riding skills. Now, something a lot of riders don't realize is that your ability to keep your feet on the pedals and bunny hop and do a lot of things that you see that looks like voodoo black magic, if you don't understand how to do it, you can learn the skill. It is a skill that your body has and that you can train and improve, and that's going to improve your flat pedal riding skills immensely. Now, the skill that this boils down to is your ability to create pressure through your feet. Now, creating pressure is your ability to create more than just weight. Like, having weight on your feet is one thing, but your ability to create pressure is your ability to actually kind of increase the weight that's being applied into the ground. And this is a concept that they talk about a lot in martial arts, Tai Chi, even in yoga they talk about this to some extent, about your ability to root and ground yourself into the ground to improve your stability and your ability to specifically like balance on one leg is where it comes up a lot of times. And so anyways, this skill of rooting yourself into the ground is really what we have to improve and get better at to improve our flat pedal riding skills. Now, the problem is that a lot of us have what I call weak and dumb feet. In today's society, we wear shoes way too much. These shoes usually are supporting the feet so they don't have to work as hard, so that they're not as strong as they should be. They're being deprived of sensory input, so they literally start to go dumb. Your feet have as many receptors and stuff in them as your hands. If you think about it, your body actually relies on your feet more because your feet are in contact with things more than your hands are. And so they're just as sensory rich, or they crave that sensory rich environment just as much as your hands do. And so when we're constantly putting our feet in shoes, our feet just get weak and dumb. And so what we need to do is do some things that will help wake them up, help get them strong. And what you'll find is that when you do this, now when you get on the bike and you're riding flat pedals, your ability to apply pressure and keep yourself grounded on your pedals is going to be greatly improved as well. So a couple things that are going to help you out. Number one, you want to start getting the feet woke up, start getting them loosened up a little bit. They're usually stiff from not working as much as they should, which sounds counterintuitive, but the two go hand in hand. If you're not moving, then you just start to get stiff, and so we want the feet to move, which both strengthens them and it starts to actually improve their ability to move and be flexible. And so you want to start out, one of the things that will really help is using something like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball to roll out on the bottom of your feet. And a lot of people are going to find that this plantar fascia along the bottom of the feet is extremely tight, and this is going to be really uncomfortable, and that's a sure sign that your feet are going to struggle to apply effective pressure into the ground. If they're already really tight, then they're going to have trouble applying more pressure and tension into the ground. So we got to get them to relax. We got to get them loosened up a little bit before you're going to be able to start really feeling the difference with some of this stuff. So doing this like daily, probably several times a day for a lot of you, is going to really help. So something real simple, tennis ball or cross ball, rolling out the bottom of your feet. Something else that I like to do is go barefoot as much as possible. In fact, you'll notice in almost all of my videos, I'm barefoot. It's something people have commented on from the beginning. Oh, you're gonna hurt your foot if you drop a weight on it. And it's like, well, a little shoe is gonna provide some protection, but honestly, if I drop a 50-pound kettlebell on my foot is screwed either way. And dropping weights on your feet is not something that you should be doing if you have half a brain in your head. So it's not that big of a deal. In fact, it'll probably make you a little more aware if you have bare feet what you're doing with the weights and when you're putting stuff down. But anyways, safety concerns aside, having bare feet, or at least wearing minimalist shoes if you work out in a gym or a place that doesn't allow you to be barefoot, is going to really help improve your feet's strength and mobility and just waking them up. And so spending less time in shoes in general and training, I strongly recommend doing all of your training either barefoot or with minimalist shoes to let the feet get strong and wake up again. So once we've done that, when you're in the gym, I'm going to show you some exercises and stuff, but really you can do these exercises all day long, but if you don't pay attention to this next thing that I'm going to tell you, then it's all going to be for nothing. I mean, maybe not for nothing, but you're not going to pick things up as quickly as you should and could if you just focus on this one thing I'm going to tell you. pay attention to your feet. If more people just did that when they worked out, it would clean up a lot of movement issues and form issues and things like that. Like if you watch a lot of people when they move, their feet are this weak, crazy moving mess. Now the rest of them may look good or kind of good, but you watch those feet moving around and that tells you that they've got a weak base. Their feet are not strong, applying pressure into the ground to provide the platform their body needs to move. So what you want to do is when you're standing, you want to think about applying pressure through your heel, the outside edge of your foot, and your big toe knuckle. You want those 3 points. Think about a triangle. You want those 3 points in contact with the ground and applying, at least weight at first, because at first applying pressure is not going to make much sense to you. So just worry about having weight on those 3 areas, and eventually as your feet start to wake up, as they start to get stronger, you'll understand what it's like to be able to apply pressure through those 3 points. But those 3 points need to be on the ground. If your outside edge of your foot starts to come up, your knee starts to buckle in. If the toe starts to come up, the big toe knuckle comes up, your knees start to go out. So a lot of knee issues, knee problems, or form issues involving the knees really have to do with the feet. Keep the feet strong and stable, and the knees will usually track a lot better as well, but it's beside the point. The point is keep your feet nice and strong and stable as you're doing these movements, or else you're not going to get what you could out of this stuff. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a standing fire hydrant. Now the idea here is any single leg exercise is really going to help improve this ability, because your ability to balance on one leg is all dictated by your ability to apply pressure and remain stable through your feet. And the better you can do that, the better your single leg balance is going to be. And so for this exercise, what you're going to do is you're going to stand on one foot and we're going to curl one leg behind us. Now immediately I want you to go to your foot. Make sure you've got those 3 points of contact with the ground, get them nice and heavy, try to apply some pressure through them. Now keep focused on that as you do the movement. We're going to bring the knee up, we're going to bring the knee out to the side, and then we bring the knee back down. You can see if I stop focusing on my foot, I start to lose my balance. So if I really focus on driving that pressure through the foot, it really helps improve my stability. You want to work on this going both directions, help open up at the hip and really help improve that single leg stance balance, which is going to help improve that ability to apply pressure through the feet. So moving that up to the next level, I like to start working on a single leg overhead press. Now this sounds a little funny. It's like, what does an overhead press have to do with this? But again, if you think about a single leg stance, now I got to apply pressure, and now I'm going to do a single arm shoulder press as I do it. And you can see it's tough. Whoop, using that other foot for balance. And this is just a 16 kilo. Again, trying to talk and do this is a little distracting, but anyways, point is you can see my foot as it starts to rock and all that, the rest of me starts to rock. So my ability to keep that foot grounded and strong and stable is what's going to dictate what kind of load I can use. You're going to find you're going to have to go really light on the load. I'm using a kettlebell here. You can use a dumbbell, that's fine as well. But again, the point is how much weight you can lift is going to be dictated by that single leg stability, which again is dictated by your ability to apply pressure through those 3 points, the heel, outside edge, and big toe knuckle. So again, working up the chain a little bit, going into a lower body exercise, I like to use the single leg deadlift. And so again, you can even do this body weight to start. Just focus on pushing the butt back, letting the chest come down. I like to try to point my heel to the wall behind me. If I'm doing body weight, I'll even extend my fingers, looking for length between my fingers and my heel. And so again, your ability to apply that pressure through your feet is going to be a real big key factor to how low you're able to come, your mobility in this movement. And so as soon as your feet start to get unstable, the rest of you is going to lock up and you're going to find you're not able to move as effectively. And so you can also, use a weight with this, putting it to the inside of the working leg and doing your single leg deadlift. And again, you'll find you really got to keep that foot grounded and strong in order to do this. And so another exercise that I like to use, again, any single leg lower body exercise, pistol squats, airborne lunges, There's all sorts of great single leg exercises that you can use, and all of them, if you're applying what I'm talking about here, with keeping that pressure through the foot and focusing on that, will help improve this skill. But another exercise I like to use is a heavy swing. Now, a heavy swing is a swing that really makes you have to ground yourself in order to, stay strong and stable. So you'll notice if I do a kettlebell swing with a lighter weight here, I can do it, and you'll notice at the top and the bottom, I got good position, but the weight isn't really pulling me. I'm not really having to work hard to resist the weight as much. I grab a heavier kettlebell, and now you'll notice at the bottom and the top, I really got to apply that pressure through my feet, because if I don't, the weight is going to really start making me rock and lose my balance and my form. And so the heavy swing is a good way to really start developing the smart feet thing that I was talking about, because you don't want your feet just applying pressure, a bunch of pressure into the pedals at all times. You want your feet to be able to react to the needs. And so, they apply pressure when needed, they can relax when needed. And so that's the skill that you're looking for, and that's what the heavy swing will help work on and build. So anyways, with that basic strategy, just understanding you need to get your feet stronger, you need to get them smarter, you need to focus on them more while you're training, thinking about that heel, outside edge of your foot, and big toe knuckle, and applying pressure through those 3 points while you're moving and while you're doing your exercises. It'll really help improve this skill. And then again, when you get on flat pedals, you'll find that your feet are able to apply the pressure, react better and more effectively to what's happening to them. So anyways, there's some strategies and skills. Hopefully it helps your flat pedal riding, because your flat pedal riding is definitely one of the best ways to help improve your overall skills and confidence and everything on your mountain bike. Really any bike, but mountain biking in particular. But so flats are a great way to improve your skills, but this is one of the #1 complaints from riders when they're trying flats is I can't keep my feet on my pedals. Makes them think that they have to attach their feet to the pedals. But when you do that, you take away your body's ability to learn and improve. Your feet need that feedback in order to get stronger, get smarter. And so coupled with strategies like this in the gym, a few rides on flat pedals, and you'll be surprised at how quickly your feet start to adapt to this and start to get past that. So anyways, once again, this has been James Wilson. You can check me out on the web at bikejames.com. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed these tips, and I will talk to you next time.